What's going on, guys? It's Ted here with another Ultimate Survival Tips episode brought to you by Sportsman's Guide. Today we are going to go through a DIY ghillie suit setup. So we'll go through everything you need, the importance of it, and the different aspects on building your own ghillie suit. So what you're gonna need is you're gonna need some camo burlap. You can get this at a craft store. You can get this really anywhere around your local, your Walmart, Meijer, wherever. And then you'll also need some jute. You can get different colors of jute, or you can do hemp. It depends. You're just sort of trying to buy a variety of different looking textures that don't have a shine to them. They're not like a glossy or anything. It's just this dull, more natural look. And then you're gonna need about, for an XL jacket, you'll probably need about 150 feet of paracord, and this is just the normal 550 paracord. I've already taken the time to cut out the different sizes for the ghillie suit and the grid, and I'll show you laying those out here in a second. So I just labeled them to know which part of the jacket. Then you're gonna need, we're gonna use some E6000 fabric glue. You can, different types of glue. This is just a good glue for making stuff with fabric, some super glue for some other things, you know, just like I said, a bunch of different varieties of fabric and wire. And then we're gonna use pins to hold down our grid and to sort of just hold the jacket together while it's drying. So the jacket I chose is the 3/4 zip. It's sort of just a pullover, but it also has this zipper on the side, so it's easier access to get into it. It is an XL. I usually wear a large, but the cool thing about having an XL is then you can fit colder weather garments underneath it, and so you can wear your ghillie suit at any time of the year. So it is a sort of water resistant material, but it's also light and breathable. So I can wear this super early season. Now I'm also strictly a bow hunter, so this jacket's gonna be a little different than your normal ghillie suit that you have seen, and that's another reason why you'd want to build it yourself instead of buying one. And we'll go through that and show you why it's gonna be for a bow hunter. But also, it doesn't matter what kind of jacket you buy, as long as it's comfy for you to wear. It is going to be the right jacket for the season, or you're trying to find something like this to get a multiple season ghillie suit out of it. But this stuff doesn't matter. Like this word right here, these strings, we can change all of it. It's gonna be a fully customizable thing at the end of the day. But it's just a starting point to where you'd like to start out. And you don't even have to go buy it. You could grab a garment from your closet, whatever your wife, girlfriend, you know, your husband doesn't like that you have. You could turn that into a ghillie suit and then it wouldn't bother them anymore. Trust me, I have a few of those. So we're gonna get right into this, making this grid right now, and we'll show you step by step our process on making this whole ghillie suit customizable for your needs. So starting off by making your grid, I grabbed this, it's just a piece of insulation board. It's just something big. You could do cardboard, a piece of wood, whatever you have laying around. I just do this so you can actually lay the jacket out pretty nice and wide, and it gives you a better flat lay than a smaller table and your arms draping over the edge. But even my board right here is a little small, so I'm gonna have to do one side at a time. But going into the grid itself, you know, we're using 550 paracord. It's your just normal mil-spec paracord, but it has these white things on the inside, this white vertebrae string or whatever you'd want to call it. But it's just extra weight. So we're just pulling them out and getting rid of them. So you're gonna do this to every piece of paracord that you lay down. Starting off, we're gonna take this one and we're gonna go from the top of the back of the neckline to the end of your sleeve or your cuff. And that one we're gonna lay down right there. Now we're gonna go through and laying down. I've already done this already, so I have my back rights, my upper horizontals, my back horizontals, and my verticals, everything laid out for this jacket itself. And you can do that as well. Just lay it out, cut them, and then you can go into the steps of actually laying it out together. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna lay out the arm, and then we're gonna lay out the grid, but then we're gonna take these pins and we're gonna pin down where you want these to stay. And I like using this insulation especially because the pins go right into it. And yes, you're gonna poke some holes in your garment, but get a small enough pin, it shouldn't matter at all. So we're gonna do that and lay it all out, and then we'll show you the gluing process. So now you've sort of laid out your grid. I've got half of it done right now. You lay it down, and now you're gonna get that E6000 glue, and pinning these at each point, at each cross section, helps you lay down the glue nicer and get it stuck to the actual fabric. And so right now we're gonna go through and we're gonna start to glue them. We'll just start down here, right? And you lay down some glue. You squeeze it through this thing if it actually comes out, and you lay it down and glue these together. And now you can push your pin in there, get the glue on there nice, and lay it down. Now we're gonna go through each cross section and glue. It does take a minute, but it's well worth it to make sure your glue holds, because then all of your later steps in the process don't fall apart. So make sure you get the glue nice, get it pinned down to the fabric, take your time, you're not rushing, just to make it nice and neat. So we just finished up our whole grid. It took a day or so. You sort of have to just lay it out, and you have to do a custom grid each garment. So this is how we laid it out. We got the back a full grid, got the arm, we got the right arm a full grid on both sides. But since we're bow hunting with it a lot, we kept the grid off the left arm on the inside. And so you could do whatever you wanted with your ghillie suit. It all depends on what your custom needs are. But we're gonna start tying everything on and actually making the ghillie suit look like a real ghillie suit. But this is a step you can't really skip because you have to have this, and it has to have strength to hold on everything that you're gonna tie on. So we're gonna get started tying on. We're gonna start with the burlap, and then we can go through, use some jute. We can also use some hemp rope as well. You just sort of want to get a bunch of different variety of color. So we're going to try everything, and you can just sort of add and take away as you go to see if it fits the environment that you need it for. So we're going to start with the bottom here, and we're going to start on the left side, and we're going to run it through the grid and just tie on the burlap. Now the cool thing about burlap and why you want to use burlap is as the burlap gets caught on stuff, it will start to fray, and so it just becomes more natural looking, a little less organic, or more organic looking, and less like you tied it on. So you start tying it on like this, and we're going to go through and do the whole thing, sort of show you a little time-lapse version of that, because it's going to take some time and you're going to have some hours put into your ghillie suit, but it should turn out great. So we're going to continue, and yeah, stay tuned. So the reason why we start at the bottom here is you can tell how tall or like how much burlap you're going to have hanging over your waistline. And so this way you can control, because you don't want it too much that it's getting caught on too many things, but you want it enough to sort of break up your legs a little bit. But other than that, it's pretty simple. You can go up one grid line and just make different, little knots. It's not hard. They're gonna stay on. But that is also why we bought the super glue. So if you have something that's a little loose, you can add some super glue onto it, and then it will stay exactly where you put it. So like I was saying before, these will start to fray and come undone, and so they'll look more natural as that happens, and the whole thing will sort of fill out a little more. It's gonna look a little odd once you start, but at the end of it, it'll look great. So the whole process of the grid, you could probably get it done in I don't know, maybe 2 days, but you have to let the glue dry. And so what we did is we did the front of the grid or the back. We just started with the back because it's the largest grid you have to do. So you do that, and how we showed you pinning it down and stuff really helps. Actually, the foam board that we were doing it on, it's just a foam insulation board. They're like $11 for an 8x4 sheet at Lowe's. And that actually helped out a lot because you can push the pins in and it sort of holds the jacket still as well. And so that I would highly recommend using that, but you could get away with cardboard, whatever you really wanted to, as long as you have a flat surface, doing it on your carpet, whatever. Don't get glue on your carpet. That would not be fun. But so I would say it took us probably to complete the grid, I don't know, a good 6 hours maybe, which seems like a lot of time, but realistically it's not like awful, because you do a part of it and then you leave, let it dry, and then you do another part of it, leave and let it dry. So it's not horrible, but I mean, it is some work, so you're gonna have to put in some work for it. This is sort of how it's gonna look. Still got our pile, we got burlap everywhere, but this is what it starts to look like once you get tying stuff on. Now I'll show you this last little bit. This arm we still got to do. We got to cut a lot of this away from the sleeve because it's too much next to the cuff, and so you just have to hold it up and sort of look at it. But like I said, we're gonna end up, we have these little pieces of burlap that we're gonna take, since we're gonna be bow hunting with this one, and we're gonna glue them on sort of, so it still has the burlap sort of texture. We're gonna keep just flipping and gluing it on, but it will stay close to the arm so you can still pull back your bow and still shoot. So this is what we're gonna do right here, is show you these last little bits and show you how to tie on the jute and stuff. So what we've been doing is the up close view for you guys so you know what to do. So you take your grid, and we're tying them on the vertical ones right here instead of the horizontal grid. And this helps just because when you tie it on, you just do a simple knot like that, hold it tight, but now it sort of flops sideways and hangs down. And when you do it on the horizontal ones, when you tie it, it hangs up, and the burlap sort of tries to hang upwards. And so some things you can do that with. You want to sort of tie it in wherever you can, but for the most part, we've been tying them on the horizontal ones, and it's been working out for us. So then you keep doing this, you finish this whole little section here real fast, and then we'll tie in the jute and the hemp for you. So I'll get this in there. And some of the burlap rips, but like I was saying before, we have extra pieces that we're gonna end up gluing onto this side. Make sure the shoulders are good. That's mostly what's gonna be. The upper part of it's gonna be mostly what the animal or whoever sees that is searching for you or trying to find you. Most of your legs should be covered if you're trying to hide in high grass or something, that this would be good for. And so you want to really make sure your upper half is covered. But as I was saying before, bow hunting with a full ghillie suit is really hard because your string can hit something on or pull on your jacket, and then your shot gets off or whatever. And so you just wouldn't want that to happen while the hunt is going on. So get up here. And I wouldn't say this takes a long time. It's just it's a little tedious, but you go back through it again and again, and I think that's what takes the time, is trying to make it really good for your environment, and just sort of trying to, you're just trying to break up your outline pretty much and blend in. So now, once you get this going, let's see. Got a few more pieces to tie in here. Grab a thick piece, throw it up top. And this is good to do these horizontal ones up top, because then your burlap actually hangs over your shoulder a little bit, and then it ties in. If you do the same on the back, it will tie in and really break up your outline. just see if I can hide in the grass. You want to come?
Hide in the grass and I'll see if I can find you. Well, we just finished the ghillie suit. Put it to test today. We got some things to change, but we're gonna take these out and put some paracord that's camo in there. But the thing works great. It breaks up your breaks up your outline really well. And so this year, hopefully, we get to actually use it on a hunt. But we got some things so we could tie in some different spots, and so it's just sort of a process that you keep changing. But ghillie build is done. Go make your own. Ultimate survival tips. Tag us. Show us your ghillie suits. And yeah, you know, if you want to see us try to use it, Brothers at Full Draw, that's where we're going to be hunting with it. So go check us out.
For your convenience, we place links to everything mentioned in the video description below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and go check out our new website, tinysurvival.com. Over there you can subscribe to our free everyday carry e-mag and get EDC hacks, tips, and gear giveaways. And if you like podcasts, go check out the Survival Show podcast with me, David, and Mr. Craig Cottle. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the other side, and remember, be prepared because you never know.